And my point number 3 is that we need to transform failure into fuel for legacy. I'll say that again. Transform failure into fuel for legacy. C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Failures are fingerposts on the road to achievement." You see, God doesn't waste our sins. He doesn't waste our failures, but they can be wasted if we don't recognize them, if we don't own up to them. You see, what God does is he repurposes our failures into tests, into testimonies that disarm shame and guilt. But we have to take ownership of it. Because if we don't, we hold on to that guilt. We hold on to that shame. And I truly believe that this won't get repurposed for Billy until he lets go and he takes full ownership and he says, I made a mistake. I said some things that were not true. I got to course correct. The Bible is reliable. All these alien things that I'm talking about and all these other, it sounds kind of crazy, right? Because when you look at them, none of them are factual. None of them can stand actual historical and archaeological scrutiny and linguistic scrutiny. It was 2 Samuel 12, 13 to 14. David said to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. And Nathan replied, the Lord has taken away your sin, but the child shall die. This is when David repents and God spares his life, but not the consequences. God forgives him, but not the consequences. And we still have to pay the consequences of our sins when we have our wrongdoings. We have to take ownership of it. Part of taking ownership of it is restitution. Okay, I'm gonna pay for that error. Right? God doesn't guard us from the consequences. He guards us from the eternal damnation if we will turn to him. But you see later on that even though there's that loss, right? And David would experience that great loss. What comes after is Solomon, the temple builder. And even in Genesis 50:20, there's Joseph's story when Joseph admits, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good to bring it about that many people should be kept alive. And I'm looking at Wes Huff and Mark Minyard and how Billy went and attacked them. Basically, Billy's the one who attacked. He's not the victim. He went predator mode, right? He even said in that live stream, all I care about is just suing them, right? Suing them until they run out of money. And so he was the one going into predator mode. And cease and desist and all these threats and all these lies. And what's interesting is that what he meant for evil, to do evil to Wes or do evil to Mark, actually God turned it for good. And Wes just exploded in popularity, right? Everybody discovered, oh my goodness, all these things that Billy has been teaching has been a lie.